How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And before we get started, I want to let you guys know about the private group. Whether you're an investor or you're a trader and you're looking to build wealth inside the stock market, then this group is for you. You can find a link down inside the description. We'll be happy to have you a part of the family. So you know what time it is. It is time for the joke of the day. If you're new to this channel, we do this 5 days out of the work week. Maybe you had a long, maybe you had a stressful day, or maybe it was the market conditions. Well, you came to watch this video, plus hear one of my corny jokes. Here it comes. Why did the man get hit by a bike every day? Because he was caught in a vicious cycle. No, it's pretty corny. But anyways, what we're going to be talking about today is DiDi Global. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I didn't butcher it too much. So let's jump into the agenda. So the first thing we're going to be going over is an update that recently came out that's going to have a big time impact on the overall stock, especially going into tomorrow. Secondly, we're going to be taking a look, doing a technical analysis, taking a look at the overall price action and the impact of the update that has come out, because I want to make sure you guys have a strategy, especially if you're interested in getting into this play. Then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution from Friday. We want to see how much of the buying and the selling has been going on. We'll look at how it was since it IPO'd and so forth to make sure you are prepared. And then when all of that is done, I'll be giving you guys my final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's jump into it. So let's go over the press release that came out for DiDi stock that's going to have an impact on it as far as its overall performance on Tuesday. So here it comes. Chinese regulators suggested DiDi delay its US IPO. China's cybersecurity watchdog suggested DiDi Global Inc. delay its initial public offering and urge it to review its network security weeks before the Chinese ride-hailing giant went public. The Wall Street Journal reported on Monday, citing people familiar with the matter. It isn't known whether DiDi carried out its own review, according to the Wall Street Journal report, but a person close to the company told the newspaper that the company ultimately decided to go ahead with the IPO as it faced increasing investor pressure for a big payout. The Cyberspace Administration of China launched the investigation into DiDi on Friday, just 2 days after the company began trading on the New York Stock Exchange. On Sunday, the agency ordered a suspension of app downloads for DiDi after it found the company illegally collected personal user data. DiDi said in a statement on Monday it had no knowledge before its $4.4 billion listing that the CAC would start to investigate the company and order its app to be taken down. Officials in Beijing, especially those at the CAC, were wary of the ride-hailing giant's troves of data potentially falling into foreign hands as a result of the greater public disclosure associated with the U.S. listing, according to the Wall Street Journal report. Chinese internet regulators have tightened rules for the country's tech giants in recent years, asking companies to collect, store, and handle key data properly. DiDi, which offers services in China and more than 15 other markets, gathers vast amounts of real-time mobility data every day. So taking this into consideration, yes, there's going to be some hurdles going on with the DiDi stock. Many are looking forward to seeing a pullback, and hey, I'm looking forward to it too. Because as far as its overall potential, I do see a lot of upside in this play. So if it can come down to a price where it looks very attractive, hey, if it even comes down to like $10 or below or anywhere in that $10 range, I'm definitely going to be looking to get in with an entry position. So now that we got that out of the way, let's jump into the technical analysis. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis on DiDi. It closed the day on Friday at $15.53, being down 5.30%. On the low, it tested $14.60, and on the high, testing $15.83. So when we take a look at DiDi, there's not a lot of information to actually go off of. It just IPO'd. So one of the things that we could see here, we do have some support support right here at this $15 level. It did end up getting to $14.60 on the Friday, as you can see, but of course it ended up recovering. So taking this into consideration, $14.60, if it does decide to pull back on Tuesday, it could revisit this particular area. But one thing we can see clearly, we do have some strength at the 15. One thing we also have to take notice of the fact, we do have a gap here. So in regards to taking it, it starts here around 16.19, going all the way to, as you can see over here, to around 15.83. So if it decides to look bullish, then I'll look for this gap to actually start to begin being filled. If it decides to be bearish due to the fact of the news that came out, hey, China's trying to crack down, let them know about cybersecurity and so on, then there could be some downward pressure, and it's part of the reasons why I talked about 14.60 being revisited again. As far as if it decided to pull back even further than that, then I'd be very curious to see how well it could hold up around this $14.12, of course, this $14 level. If it breaks through this $14 level, things can get very interesting, and then I would be thinking about actually going in with a long position, but of course I'd want to see how long that bearish trend would actually continue before I even do that, because I do believe in general that DiDi does have a lot of potential, and it will be able to get through this hurdle that it's pretty much has witnessed. So if you're looking to go long and hold this play for at least a year, I do feel that it should be able to actually recover quite nicely. But for the most part, I am going to be staying away from it. We're going to take a look at the price action, and we look forward to see what it does on Tuesday. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for DiDi stock. So we can see here on the inflow it was at 230, and then on the outflow is at 181. So what does this look like? So on the inflow side, we had 0 that were large. On the medium, we had 75, and on the small, we had 155. As far as for the medium on the outflow, we had 47, and on the small, we had 135. So a lot more inflow than outflow on the Friday. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see here as far as for June the 30th, we had an outflow of 12.17, but for the next day, which was the 1st, we had an inflow of 5.06, and then we had 0 as far as for Friday is concerned. So taking this into consideration, yes, we do have some institutions that have begun getting involved and bailing out their positions, but we're also seeing a lot of interest in regards to many people who are taking profits on the first day, and also this continuing towards the end of the week. Another thing also to understand with the recent news that just came out, this is not factored in. This was actually brought out on Sunday. So that's why I said as far as for Tuesday, if it does decide to pull back, an opportunity can be presented for you. And of course, I'm going to be patient because I want to see how much it actually decides to sell off and how far it's actually going to go. If it seems to start stabilizing itself, and that's when I'm going to think about getting into a position. So now let's jump into the final thoughts. So for my final thoughts on DiDi stock, there's definitely going to be a lot of volatility this week. And you know what? I'm looking forward to it. If it decides to really pull back, like I said, I'll be looking to get into a position. On top of the news update that came out on Sunday, DiDi did come out and say, you know what, this will have an impact on our revenues as well. So this is not good news, and a lot of investors are going to be wanting to get out. But of course, we need to take advantage because there is a lot of potential in DiDi stock. When I took a look at, hey, they have some very notable names as far as investors are concerned. Uber actually invested in them. Apparently Uber tried to get into China and DiDi actually forced them out. So they said, you know what? Uber's like, I want to make sure we got a stake in there. So knowing that, that was actually pretty cool. And I've also heard about Apple as well. So if they're actually vested in DiDi, I'm like, you know what? This is something that is actually worth a look. But this is also another thing we need to understand. When you are investing in Chinese stocks, they come with even more volatility because you just don't know what the government's going to do, or as far as agencies and as far as administrations over there. So this is one of the things where, you know what, yes, this is a hurdle, this is a hiccup, but at the same time, if you believe in the long-term prospects, it does give you the opportunity to get in at a really good price. So taking everything that I just said to you, look forward to see how the stock actually moves, and before you get into your position, just wait for the price to actually stabilize itself so you're not in the middle of a falling knife. And I also want to make sure you guys are maximizing your profits. Hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.